Hi, welcome back and thanks for tuning in. Today I'd like to show you how to remove OEM exhaust from Harley Davidson touring bikes. First we gotta remove the bags. They're just quick release tabs. I'm sure if you own this motorcycle you already know about that. Next thing we're gonna do is remove the mufflers. On original mufflers, the nut is welded here, so all you gotta do is take the bolts. On this one I might have to use a wrench to hold the nut from spinning. And the next one is the clamp right here that would loosen up the muffler from the header pipe. You might want to spray it with the WD-40 or any kind of lubricant. You want to pry this muffler back and forth. Don't be afraid to put a little pressure on it to loosen it up in front, because that front clamp will squeeze it tight and you need to open it back up a little bit. And it shouldn't be too hard to get it off. Now the left muffler I remove a little differently. It's the same situation here, but we're not going to separate the muffler from the header pipe over here, but we're going to separate the header pipe from the other side over here. So instead make sure you loosen it up quite a ways, like this at least. Thing we gotta do is loosen up this heat shield. There is one clamp right here and one on the other side that we're gonna loosen up from the other side. We gotta remove this heat shield because the heat shield ties those two pipes together. Here's the clamp on this side I'm talking about. I use just the 8mm socket. You can also use a flathead screwdriver, but I find the socket to be a little bit easier. And what you want to do, you want to loosen the clamp all the way so you can open it up. You can see it here start coming out, coming apart. You can see you can open the clamp like that. Here is the other clamp. I do have to start this one with the screwdriver because it's too close and I can't get the socket on it. So it just depends. Sometimes it's easier to use the screwdriver, other times the socket. Okay, now you can see the clamp is loose and I can remove this whole heat shield easily. This is what it looks like. It's just two clamps. Now you can see what we got here. There's additional bracket here that we need to loosen up. You just see the back of it. Here it is from the other side. We just got to loosen up this nut so everything will slide out easily. Oh, see, actually it looked like it was in good shape, but no, it's broken. Very common. We're definitely gonna have to fix that little bracket, but for now let's continue removing this exhaust. If you have an exhaust like this, make sure you put a Loctite on these bolts. Whoever did this one didn't put any Loctite, that's why I'm able to just hold it by hand. Not really comfortable with that, so you want to use blue Loctite on these. Now we should be able to just move this whole thing out. see it comes with the whole left header pipe. So now we gotta move back to the right side of the motorcycle and we gotta start working on the rest of the header pipe. For that we gotta remove this floorboard, which is just 2 bolts right here, and the floorboard will come out. For this you're gonna need an Allen wrench and 7/16. Next we need to move this bracket out of the way. I just use wrench like this and move it. It's held from the back by 1 bolt, so it's easy to swing it back and forth. Make sure you don't break that bolt loose. If you do, just tighten it back up. But usually it stays okay. So what we got next? Next we're gonna have to remove this heat shield right here. Again, you gotta always open these clamps all the way up so you can get these heat shields off. Now with these one heat shield off, it'll expose another bracket that has to be removed, and then the last thing to do is loosen up the actual header pipe from the engine and we can remove it. This is the clamp I'm talking about. It's attached to the mount that comes from the transmission, and what you gotta do, there's a nut on the other side, so it's 7/16 on both sides, and then when you do get that bolt out of the way, you gotta pry this bracket. You have to pry this clamp open. It's kind of a caveman setup if you ask me, but that's the only way you're gonna get it out. So let me show you. Okay guys, don't mind these drain pans. I'm in the process of changing an oil on this bike, so that's unrelated. I just wanted to make a video about taking the exhaust off. The reason why I'm taking the exhaust off on this bike, I'm gonna check his this gentleman just purchased the bike and he wants me to check his tensioners, which is the smartest thing you can do right after you purchase the bike. So we gotta take the exhaust off. So I have another video on checking these cam chain tensioners. If you have a twin cam, I really recommend doing that because they are a wear item, and especially if you have 20,000 or more miles, you want to see what they look like. But back to this. Okay, here you go. So you want to open it so you can get this out of the way. So last part we have to do is remove these 1/2" nuts that are on the actual engine head. These ones don't look too bad, but always spray them with WD-40 or PB Blaster or something. Actually, it's a good idea to spray it before you even start with all the other work. So let it sit a little bit. Motorcycle, there is nothing else holding this header on the motorcycle anymore, so the easiest way is to pull the front down and move it all out. It's a little bit of a Rubik's cube, so to speak, but you gotta get these clamps off, a little bit off the studs, and then we pull the front down and the back. So now our exhaust is finally off. I want to point to you something that most likely by the book, they want you to separate the front header from the back one, take the heat shields, all the heat shields off. As you see, it's not really necessary to do that. It comes out in one piece like that. common problem on these bikes a lot of times is that the header cracks right here. So, you know, check that, make sure there's no little cracks here once you have the exhaust off. If there are, you can weld them up. And because it's covered up with heat shields pretty good, so no big deal if you have to do some welding and use some header paint and cover it up with the heat shield again. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and see you in the next one.